And welcome everybody into Texas Tech basketball with Chris Beard. I am Jeff Haxton, and it is presented today by Rudy's Barbecue. Rudy's Barbecue, fantastic South Loop and Slide. Make a basketball move over to rudys.com to place your curbside pickup or delivery order and enjoy 100% oak smoked meats, Rudy's signature sauces, and delicious sides from your home. The Red Raiders are ranked 18th in the country. They also put out the net rankings. Those came out today with Texas Tech also at 18. The Red Raiders coming off of a very close loss to the Oklahoma State Cowboys in overtime, 82-77. Of course, Kansas State is coming up tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, just about 24 hours from right now. The Red Raiders will be on the court. We'll be on the air at 5 p.m. for our broadcast pregame show there. Kansas State and then Iowa State coming up on Saturday. So it's certainly a busy time. We're going to pull a little role reversal here. We're going to have Sean Sutton on first, then Chris Beard on the back end of hour number one. So welcome to the program, Sean. How you doing, man?
Thanks, Jeff. Good to be on with you.
It is great to talk to you. Of course, we spent 6 years at Oral Roberts together, followed your career with Oklahoma State, and of course your father, legendary Eddie Sutton. It's just, it's crazy how the world works. We spent 6 years in blue and gold. Now we're in Lubbock, Texas. Rudy's sponsored show. It is just a weird, crazy world, man. And you got here just 1 year after I did. Do you ever stop and think about that? I mean, just how crazy that is.
I remember when you came to Maine, you said they had a job open. I know you're friends with Chris Beard. Do you mind calling him? And so I tried to call Coach Beard and left him a message on your behalf, and was excited when you got the job. And obviously didn't know a year later I'd be out here with you, but was never any question on my part that you would do a great job here. But all the way back to Oklahoma State, when I was a player and you were a student, and then I was a coach, I guess, when you were a student back then. And then 6 years at ORU, and now going on our fourth year together at Texas Tech. Been a lot of fun.
It's been amazing. It's crazy because I remember on a couple of occasions in that first year, Brian Berg would come up to me sometimes on the airplane and he'd say, "What do you think about Sean?" I'm like, What are you digging at here, man? What are you talking about, Sean? And it turns out they had their eyes on you for a long time. So if you could we see you down there, we see you involved. Just describe for the folks your role here.
Just, whatever I can do to make the Coach Beard's job easier. Obviously there's certain things I can do and certain things I can't do in terms of communicating and direction of players on the court. I'm not allowed to do that right now. But there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes, and so just try to do whatever I can. My biggest role is kind of help him from an offensive standpoint, scouting standpoint, getting ready for teams, obviously scheduling, is a big part of my job. Just a lot of different things that he has me do through my experience over the years of coaching different levels, and obviously being in the Big 12 at Oklahoma State for 17 years. So seeing a lot of things in my time, and I guess some ways, you're fortunate or unfortunate, however you want to look at it. But I think he has a lot of confidence in my experience, and will lean on me from time to time. And obviously thrilled to be here. Love working for him. Does a great job, and been a great 4 years so far. Looking forward to the rest of this season.
Yeah, this place will grow on you, man, and I think it's grown on you and your family. Your family has had success here. Of course, Spencer doing what he's doing, man. It's been exciting to watch that. And I will tell you this, and I know you guys are so busy, you probably don't know this, but this is our fifth show, and we'll have Coach Beard coming up here in just a little while. But in all four of the shows, Coach Beard has really raved about the job you did with the scheduling. Can you take us behind the scenes on what that was like in a COVID pandemic year?
Well, really, we had to start all over after we had the schedule done at the end of April, and so we felt like we waited to see what the NCAA was going to do. They elected that they were going to give us 9 non-conference games. They weren't going to allow us to start until November 25th. So obviously we missed out on 3 or 4 of our first games. We had to kind of retool the whole schedule. And so what we tried to do, I thought Coach Beard made a great decision on this from this standpoint, is that he tried to get teams that could bus here and could stay off of planes, because obviously when you do that, you give yourself a better chance of not being infected by the virus, keeping teams off planes, putting them on buses. And then we tried to find teams that we knew the head coach and we knew the staff, and we felt like we could trust them and they would do the right things. They would meet the testing requirements with the Big 12, the 3 tests in a 7-day period. We could count on them to show up on time and do the things they were supposed to do. And so it really worked out. Like, we're probably one of the few teams. We had one cancellation with the Big East and St. John's, but really that wasn't our doing. That was done from Big East and Big 12 in terms of the matchup. The teams that we elected to schedule and bring in here to Tech, or the games we scheduled in Dallas with Houston and Corpus Christi, we didn't have any problems with any of those. The St. John's game, we got Scott Cross really stepped up through a relationship with Coach Beard and myself and Yurk, and brought Troy in here to take their place. That went pretty smoothly under the circumstances. But so far, 8 of our non-conference games have all 8 for 8. We still got LSU in late January. Hopefully everything will well there. But really, a group effort and just some smart playing on Coach Beard's part.
Talking to Sean Sutton here on Texas Tech basketball with head coach Chris Beard. Can you tell us what the mood is like when that call or email from St. John's hits the desk? I mean, that had to be just like, uh-oh.
Well, I think the one thing is we weren't surprised. Like, we had some anticipation, like this could go down, this could happen. And so we were trying to plan ahead, look ahead, and see what options were out there. And so we were down the road a little bit. I mean, obviously, we were told on Friday and told again on that Saturday and Sunday, we're coming. We'll be there. We're going to play the game, coming from St. John's, and it just didn't materialize that way. And then the phone call comes Monday that they're not going to play. So at least we were down the road a little bit, had a little bit of a heads up in terms of just a gut instinct. I think that we just felt like something was off. Something could happen with this game, and so luckily through Scott Cross and Troy, they really stepped up. We had a few other options. ESPN really stepped up too, and said they would do the game, and so that made it a little bit easier getting somebody to come in here and play. But could have been a tricky situation. Ended up turning out relatively pretty smoothly.
We're just getting underway here in this Big 12 season. Again, we're talking to Sean Sutton. We'll have Coach Beard coming up in just a moment. I'm interested to know what you feel about home court advantages. You, for 17 years at Oklahoma State, had one of, if not the best, home court advantages. Up there with Duke and up there with North Carolina and places like that. I think even better than North Carolina. Now we're seeing that taken away, or at least extremely severed. Over the weekend, 4 of 5 road teams go and get victories, unheard of. What is that like now? Has the pressure gone more to the home teams?
Because I don't know that, but I just think it's a totally different atmosphere than what we're used to. I mean, instead of having 15,000 in here rocking on Saturday against Oklahoma State, we have 4,000. That's just the world of college basketball right now. And so I do think it makes it a little bit easier on the road team to come in and win some of these games. You're not dealing with a capacity crowd. You're not dealing with all the things that go on with the student section, everything that goes on to making a great home court advantage.
Guys with Speedos,
right? And so I think because of that, you're seeing a lot of road teams win some of these games because there's not the atmospheres that you're accustomed to in the Big 12 and in other leagues in college basketball. And I don't know. I think Coach Beard has done a great job in terms of you got to generate your own enthusiasm, and that's the message we had today with one of our team meetings was you got to generate your own enthusiasm. You've got to create that that kind of excitement on the bench because there's only so much the crowd can do, and I think our crowds have been great, and they've certainly done their part with the limited number of people that were allowed in the game. But a lot of it's got to come from your own players, your staff, the people that make up your basketball program.
So Coach Beard, when he was previewing Oklahoma State, he said Oklahoma State is a box out and a board and a basket away from being number 1 in the league and top 10. You can say that about the Red Raiders now, okay? Didn't guard the inbounds with KU late, didn't make the plays whenever, whatever it may be, you can fill in those blanks. So in your opinion here, 3 games into the conference season, What's missing? Is there anything missing?
Well, I mean, I just think we got to learn to close games out, and we got to make plays with games when the games are on the line, and a lot of that, guys stepping up individually that have to make plays when the games are on the line, and missed out of bounds. We missed a switch on an out of bounds play against Kansas. We had multiple breakdowns against Oklahoma State where we fouled a 3-point shot. We missed a couple of switches on some screens where they get to the basket and then don't execute well offensively a couple of times late in the game. And so close, obviously very, very close to being 3-0. But also, you can look the other way. Hartman, has a wide open shot. Reeves has a wide open shot at Oklahoma. Tip to tie the game. It's in that game in overtime. And I just think that's where the Big 12 is this year. I think Baylor maybe has the best team. Texas certainly, Kansas, all three of those teams, and then I think everybody else is just right there together. And I think you're going to see a continuous of these type of games where it comes down to the last minute, last 30 seconds, and the teams that can find ways to make plays in those situations, obviously, and give themselves a lot better chance to have a lot better season.
All right, we're talking to Sean Sutton. Chris Beard is coming up. We'll take this break, and I've got more for Sean when we come back. I'm going to ask him about some recent events in his life that have been really that have grabbed the college basketball world. We'll get into that a little bit with Coach Eddie and the documentary, and also some more Texas Tech hoops, and then Coach Beard coming up. Texas Tech basketball with Chris Beard, presented by Rudy's Barbecue, will continue after these messages on the Texas Tech Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
At Texas Tech, innovation is at our core. Grit and determination drive our ambition. Art and culture spur our creativity. We're a community that makes Texas and the world a better place. We're a university where our accomplishments are many, our achievements are global, and our victories are glorious. Texas Tech University. From here, it's possible.
This is Texas Tech basketball with Chris Beard, presented by Rudy's Barbecue. Good to be joined by my good friend Sean Sutton, who is the advisor to Coach Beard and does the player development. You can see him on the bench. He is really involved. One thing that I've always said to people, and for some reason, maybe they don't make the connection like they should. I just think that one of the coolest things about being here is you have the Eddie Sutton tree and the Bob Knight tree converged, working as one. I just think that's one of the coolest stories. I mean, for you to continue that legacy on, and Coach Beard, again, if you want to combine a couple of coaching trees, that's a pretty good place to start, my man.
Not bad with those two guys. Obviously, my dad and Coach Knight go back a long ways, friends for a long time. Coach Knight was probably, along with Dean Smith, the two guys when my dad was a young coach that really helped mentor him and help him with some decisions along the way when he was a younger coach. And then obviously, they got to where they competed against each other, Kentucky and Indiana, and then Oklahoma State and Texas Tech. Always had a healthy terms of relationship in terms of the respect they had for one another. And then the staffs always got along well between Oklahoma State and Texas Tech here when Chris was an assistant with Pat and working for Coach Knight. And then you had myself and Kyle Keller and Glenn Cyprian and James Dickey on the Oklahoma State staff. So two great coaching trees, a lot of wins between them, a lot of good talented guys that worked under both those great legendary coaches. A
lot of symmetry there, and I find it cool that when you throw the ball up, you're trying to tear each other apart, right? But the Texas Tech guys wear the 806 shirts last year up there. You want to talk about some emotions. You're looking at the Texas Tech retro uniforms and the Final Four uniforms, the black ones that they brought out last year at Gallagher, Iba. But that has been really cool. Competitors, but gentlemen. And that's what you could think about your dad and Coach Knight. My gosh. So I know you've been over this, but just for us and our audience, what was it like to finally see your dad in?
Just, really happy that it finally happened. Obviously, a lot of frustration over the years. You don't quite understand how somebody with his accolades and all the things that he was able to accomplish in his career kept being left off. 6-time, finalist for the Naismith Hall of Fame, and to be turned down 6 different times, and then finally the 7th time they get it right. At least in my eyes, they got it right.
Damn straight.
So, thrilled for him. Was glad that I was with him that day, and just kind of see his excitement and kind of the gleam in his eye that he knew that it happened, and well deserved, and certainly a lot of people played a part in it, from Dick Vitale to Bill Self, John Calipari, even Chris Beard and the gesture of wearing those 806 T-shirts when we went to Oklahoma State this year. Brought a lot of publicity in terms of the attention of getting my dad into the Hall of Fame, and so he deserved to be in. I'm glad that he got in. I wish he could have been there for the ceremony. I wish my mother could have been around to see it, but thankful that it happened and grateful that it happened, and well deserved.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I remember in that weird Disneyland hotel that we were in. Trina and the boys are they're walking around the hotel, and this, you're trying to qualify for the Final Four, and the announcement's pending, and I could just see the excitement, and then you could just see really the devastation of what happened that day, but all is right that finally got there, and finally the right decisions were made. I can only imagine that you got a lot of support after the doc aired. I mean, I think I texted you, "I love you, Coach," that kind of deal. What was that experience like? Because that I'm putting you through some heart-wrenching stuff here, and I apologize, but a lot of tears involved in that deal.
No, just they came to us several years ago, and they wanted to do a documentary on my dad, and so our family sat down and we talked about it, and we felt like, really the only way to do this right is you got to tell the good and the bad. And really with him it was the good, the bad, and the ugly. And so we agreed for that to be the most successful in terms of quality of film, that we had to be willing to share things that were going to be uncomfortable, things that, like, maybe my mother, if she'd been alive, she would not wanted us talking about. But we felt like in order to make an impact, in order to reach other people, in order to make a difference in other people's families, that these kind of things that we have to address. And obviously addiction was a big center, big topic about that. And there's not really, Jeff, as you know, there's not one family really out there now that hasn't been touched by some form of addiction. Yeah. And so it's just something that everybody's going to go through as a family. And so, was it easy? No, it wasn't easy to go back and talk about some of those things. And I think I ended up doing like 9-10 hours of interviews over the course of 9 or 10 months. But I thought the final product was done extremely well. I was happy with the reception people had. I think it made an impact. I think it made a difference, and that was the goal. Yeah,
it's still going to make a difference. I'll let you go with this. Hey, we got another one coming up tomorrow, 24 hours. What do you want to see out of the Red Raiders against K-State?
Just, they bounce back, and we play hard from start to finish. Right now we're playing kind of in segments, and we've got a sustained effort. We've got to commit to playing defense every possession, and then offensively move the basketball, do a better job of getting not turning the ball over as much, and then getting quality shots every time down the court. And playing Texas Tech basketball, playing the way that Coach Beard wants us to play offensively, the way Coach Adams wants us to play defensively, and get back to playing those things, playing that style. If we do that, everything will take care of itself. You'll see us winning games.
All right, man. I've really enjoyed this. Thanks for stepping in here at the start. Coach Beard is coming up when we come back. A reminder, make a basketball move over to Rudy's, Rudy's.com to place your curbside pickup or delivery order and enjoy 100% oak smoked meats, Rudy's signature sauces, and delicious sides from your home. Coach Beard coming up next on the Texas Tech Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
At Texas Tech, innovation is at our core. Grit and determination drive our ambition. Art and culture spur our creativity. We're a community that makes Texas and the world a better place. We're a university where our accomplishments are many, our achievements are global, and our victories are glorious. Texas Tech University. From here, it's possible.
Hey, don't forget, make a basketball move over to Rudy's, rudys.com, to place your curbside pickup or delivery order and enjoy 100% oak smoked meats, Rudy's signature sauces, and delicious sides from your home. And don't forget about those breakfast tacos. They are outstanding in the morning. Coach Dunwald thought it was weird that I was drinking Diet Dr. Pepper for breakfast. Coach Beard, what's your take on Diet Dr. Pepper for breakfast?
Love Dr. Pepper. Me and my oldest daughter, Avery, share that passion. Not one of those guys, though, that feels good about myself when I drink too many sodas. Me and Bob Donewald always have a common conversation. Like, what if there was no relationship between health and what you ate or drink? It's fun to think about.
It is.
If that was true, I would have 15 Dr. Peppers a day. But I love Dr. Pepper. I love the Dr. Pepper milkshake at Whataburger.
Oh, that's good.
But I feel a little bit guilty when I have more than one a couple days.
Well, sometimes you just got to roll in there and you got to get it done. Sometimes you do. We had Sean Sutton on. He's fantastic. I'm so glad, again, we spent 6 years together at Oral Roberts, and now we're sitting here in red and black. We feel great about having the double T on. And I know you've had a chance to go back and view Saturday. So what are your impressions from what happened with the Cowboys in overtime at the USA on Saturday?
Yeah, well, first of all, disappointed that we didn't get the number one objective done. That's to win the games. No doubt about it that never have been a guy that believes in close plays is okay or moral victories or this or that. It's just not how we roll. We've never rolled like that, and certainly not year 5 here when we're trying to defend championships and get into that top echelon of college basketball. So that can't say any clearer. We expect to win the game. That's our objective. Disappointing when we don't get it done. On the other hand, and really the message to the team here the last couple of days, has to be consistent. Like, we're a program that talks about process more than outcome. Now we have to live what we preach. The bottom line is, if Kansas, we get one more stop or one more basket, we're fortunate enough to win that. Oklahoma State, if it's one call that goes our way or one less mistake we made or one less play Oklahoma State, now you're sitting here 3-0. You're feeling a little bit different. But in reality, you're really the same basketball team. So what's more important to us right now than the scoreboard or winning is where are we going with our team? Are we getting better? Certainly, we have to win games. We all know that. But the message with the team and my personal feeling is let's stay the course. Because really, we could be sitting here 3-0 very easily, and we're really the same team. Let's keep working on us and keep getting better, and we got to figure out a way to win some games along the way.
I thought of the same thing. I actually said the same thing to Coach Sean. I said, when we were coming up on Oklahoma State, you talked about them. They were this and this basket block out from being in the top 10. You can say the same thing about your team, and I'm glad to hear you say that. When you took up a big challenge against Cade Cunningham, how did you think your team did defensively against him?
Well, he's a lot of work. He's a good player. He's a great player. He's not another one of these high school guys that, could be in the NBA if the NBA rules were different, that now come to college as the one and done deal. A lot of those guys just come with their talent, and they're already looking ahead to the draft. My understanding from Cade, and I'm friends with Mike, their coach, is that's not him, man. He's right there. He's an Oklahoma State Cowboy right now, and he's playing the game the right way, whether it be extra pass or doesn't chase stats. He's just a guy that, knows how to win. I said it before the game, right? Message hadn't changed. He's one of the best players in the Big 12. Not recruits, not prospects, not NBA guys. He's one of the best players. So our guys, he was a focal point of the game plan. I think we did some good things in the game plan. We put enough pressure on him where he fouled out of the game. We got some things done. But really, where you got to go win a basketball game in the last 4 minutes of the game, we let him get away from us in some key moments.
You said that you thought, and I'm paraphrasing, that they whipped you in the first half. You got it going in the second half, and then you might have lost the game in the first half. Do you still feel that way going back and looking at it?
Yeah, you have to as a competitor. Like, there's a 40-minute game. What is that? There's 10 4-minute segments between media timeouts in a college basketball game. So there's these 10 4-minute games. And absolutely, you can win the game in a couple of these. We've done that before. You get up on somebody 22-5, game's over if you know how to play. Unfortunately, you get down 15-16 at half to a Big 12 team, it's going to be hard to win the game. I didn't like our start. I don't like being down 22-10 at home against Oklahoma State. this put so much pressure on you in the second half. Our guys did a lot. I mean, give them credit. It's real. It's not coaches speak. We fought back. We took the lead. But sometimes when you spend all that energy getting back in the game, you don't have the energy you need to go finish it. And didn't like our start, didn't like our first half. Players know that. Players didn't like it either. We got to work to get things fixed.
What happened on the McClung line violation, where it looked like he was trying to kind of wedge in there and then all of a sudden maybe got bumped and then they're shooting another free throw? What happened there?
Tough call. College coaching, not supposed to talk about the officiating. Officials don't have to go to the press conference after the game. We got a structure in the Big 12 that we work through the commissioner and the head of officiating, and we got great relationships with all those people. I've always said I'm not changing my tune. Sometimes things go your way, sometimes they don't. I've never changed my tunes. These are the best officials in our game. These guys are good at what they do. Really cool to have a woman officiating. That was cool. I was kind of proud to be a part of that game, And, these officials are the best at what they do, but they're human beings. You get into these judgment calls, it's really frustrating. My deal is we're a no-excuse program. I'm never going to talk about a play late in the game unless I'm also talking about plays in the first minute of the game. Lot of tough calls, but we have to do a better job putting ourselves in a position where one call is not going to cost us a game.
So I'm not going to go over the three-point foul, but Bill brings up a good point at Guns Up Radio. He says, I've heard Coach Beard reference ghost screens before, and he's curious what you think about the illegal screen rule as it relates to ghost screens. He said it seems weird that a guy who is slipping a screen, which Kyler wasn't even involved in a screen, and has incidental contact with anyone, it's a violation. Is there any way to clarify maybe what happened on that play other than tough call?
I could be clear on that because I owe it to our fan base and our players and everybody. That was the wrong call. And if they're going to fine me on that, they can fine me. Maybe Rudy's can help me out. But that was a wrong call. Really good official, an experienced official, a guy that doesn't go into the game wishing one team wins or another. I mean, a guy that knows how to call the game, somebody I respect. Bad call. The league told me the next day, missed call. So on that right there, you just chalk it up to competition with human being officials, just like players make mistakes, just like coaches make mistakes. That's what that was. So I can answer that question very clearly. That was a wrong call, so we don't change anything the way we teach, the way we coach. Running that play is just really unfortunate to us that it comes in the last play of the game where we thought we had something set up where we could win a home game.
Okay. All right. Again, if you think it's frustrating for you fans out there, just know this guy sitting next to me here is been working at it really hard, going to get it right. All right, so how big is it for this team to block by committee? We saw a great block by Tyreek Smith, rotates over, McClung saves it, turning that defense into offense. You've talked about that being huge, but with not just a Tariq Owens out there, how big is it for everybody to try and participate in that?
Yeah, that's the way we set it up. We have no plan B. Our rim protection, our help defense has to come by committee, and it's always been that way. When we had Zach Smith, we also had Justin and Keenan and Norrance and some other guys protecting the rim. So we have no objective to have one guy. I wish Shaquille O'Neal would be the Benjamin Buttons deal and come back and be able to play here for a couple years. Then we might be able to play defense different. We could tell Shaq, one of my all-time favorite guys, I could listen to him all the time, every day. One of my favorite human beings. If Shaq played here, then we might just ask Shaq to protect the rim and ask other guys to do different things. We don't have Shaq. We need everybody on our team to help protect that rim. We need JB to get a block a game and a charge a game. We need Kyler Edwards to block one shot a game and get a charge a game. We need Reek and Marcus to maybe get 2 blocks and 2 charges. But our rim protection, it has to be by committee. Right now, we're just inexperienced in getting that done. We've got some guys not doing what we need done. Always starts with coaching. Are we coaching it good enough? Are we teaching it good enough? Are we demanding it? Is it clear for the players? We try to do the best job we can. I can't go out there and block the shot. You can't go out there, Hacks, and take the charge. But I've got to teach it and coach it. So it starts always internally with me and our staff, and then we got to make sure our players understand what needs to be done.
I could take the charge, but it'd only be one. Last time I took a charge, I broke 4 ribs.
I was there the day that you and Level played the 2-on-2. What was the play y'all kept calling?
Scissors. Scissors!
I was there when you were running scissors. I did not see a lot of defense by doing level.
No.
I thought you looked like an offensive program.
Yeah, oh God, yeah, we had a lot of dump downs that Level missed. I'll throw him under the bus, but at least I didn't rip his finger off. I mean, we survived the one in Miami. We didn't survive the one in Norman. Good grief. Talking to Coach Beard, hey, again, one thing I get so passionate about listening to you is playing for this double T and what it means. Is that something you hammer home every 5 minutes, every hour?
Yeah, absolutely. That's how you win. You win in a team sport when you're playing for what's on the front of your jersey, not your back. Back is guys' names. That's individual stuff. They're not handing the NCAA championship to the team this year that has the best individual player, but they're going to hand it Monday night around what it'll be about 11 o'clock Lubbock time. They're going to hand it to the team that won the best. So, yeah, the double T is everything. It's who I work for. It's who the players play for. It's for our fans. It's all the players that came before us, the coaches that come before us. You got to get that pride factor. Really proud here in year 5 we've got that rolling. And even from time to time when we have a special one-year player come in, whether it's a one-and-done freshman, Jemias or Zaire, or whether it's a one-and-done grad transfer, a Matt or Tariq or Chris or a Holyfield or an Anthony Livingston, we got to get those guys entrenched in the pride that we play for the double T. And I think this year's team's right there. Hacks, these guys are trying hard. They want to win. We're off to a little bit of adversity here in the stop. But it's a long fight, man. It's an 18-round fight, and we just got to keep getting better. That's what we need, and we need our fan base to stay positive and hang in there. And, I predict great things in the future. I can't predict whether it's going to be an hour from now or a week from now, but when you work like we work and when you got players like we have and when you got guys wanting to play for the program, for the double T, good things are going to happen.
All right, I'm excited. I'm ready to rumble. When we come back, we've got some questions from the internet that are really good, and also we're going to talk about the Cats because the Cats are in here. Speaking of 24 hours, just under 24 hours, K-State will be inside United Supermarkets Arena. This is Texas Tech basketball with Chris Beard, presented by Rudy's Barbecue. We'll continue right after.
At Texas Tech, innovation is at our core. Grit and determination drive our ambition. Art and culture spur our creativity. We're a community that makes Texas and the world a better place. We're a university where our accomplishments are many, our achievements are global, and our victories are glorious. Texas Tech University. From here, it's possible.
And we're back on Texas Tech basketball with head coach Chris Beard, presented by Rudy's Barbecue. Swing by Rudy, South Loop and Slide. They will take care of you, man. Bag up that brisket, all the sausage, all the things that they bring to the table, the turkey and the banana pudding and all those things. Sound pretty good right now. You'll be a hero if you take it home to Rudy's. Smoke with the oak, right?
Smoke with the oak.
Smoke with the oak. All right. Coach, when you think about this Kansas State team, they've had their highs and lows, but does everything kind of run through Mike McGurl, a guy that's been around for a while now? It seems like he has done some really good things. He's got 42 assists to 20 turnovers, averaging 33 minutes and 12 and a half points.
Yeah, when I think of K-State, first of all, the players, McGurl's one of the best returning players in our league. He's a guy that's gotten better in the K-State program. He's playing a bigger role for him this year, and he's ready for that role. An athletic guy that can score on all 3 levels. K-State's had some great perimeter players since our time in Lubbock. He appears to be kind of one of the next in line. They're committed to playing young players right now, 2 or 3 starters, freshmen in the lineup. These guys are really no longer freshmen since they've played so many minutes to this point. Kind of the way I feel about, Mike and Amari, got to kind of turn the corner here. And then with Buzo and Vlad, we got a lot of confidence in those guys. I think they're going to play a great role for us down the stretch. Also, when I think of K-State, I just think of their coaching. Hacks, I know Bruce Weber's one of the all-time greats in our game, whether it be the success that he had at Southern Illinois as a head coach, before that an assistant coach for Gene Cade at Purdue, winning Big Ten championships. Certainly at Illinois, played for the national championship, coached in the Monday night game. At K-State, what he's done, won the Big 12 twice, went to Elite Eights. I remember the one team had the misfortune of the injuries down the stretch, I thought was good enough, I think, with Wade and those guys to win the whole thing.
Yeah.
Kind of like our bad luck with Keenan and Tariq in the championship game with the what was Tariq's deal? Foot, toe, ankle?
Looked like everything when he went down, but I think it was foot.
Yeah, let's don't talk about that, man. Let's talk about K-State this year. But Coach Weber is a great coach. He knows what he's doing. This year he's playing young guys. He's getting it figured out, and they've already got a big road win in the Big 12. You know me, I don't even think we look at the standings till February. But this K-State team is going to get better as the year goes on. And as we sit here today, they're a part of the fight. Just like us, they've got one win. They're looking for two. You're just looking to get as many wins as you can until February hits, and then you kind of see where you are in the standings.
Do you ever wonder if you'll look up and he'll be in your coaching box with you?
I like Coach Weber. He's passionate. He gets after it. Don't worry about the coaching box when you coach against him because it'll start messing with your mind. And no, he's a guy that, to me, he's everything good about college basketball and always has been.
Well, he'll try to joystick it too. And with, again, we were used to 15,000. You won't hear him with 4,000. You may hear him a little bit because he is so vocal. One more guy that I'd like for you to go over, Nigel Pack. He has hit 23-pointers, one of those freshmen that you were talking about from Indianapolis, guy that's had some really good games. TCU, he had 12 points, 14 against UMKC, looking all the way down, 8 against Iowa State. What does this young man bring to the table?
Yeah, Pack's one of the best freshmen in our league. He's getting it done not only in talent but in production. If I was voting for the all Big 12 freshman team today, Pack's a name I would have in front of me. He's playing great as a young guy in our league. I have a lot of respect for his game personally just because I love the way he plays. He's a motion offense kind of guard. He gets so much done without wasted dribbles. He reads the defense. He comes off screens. He's had games this year. We just saw this morning he scored 15 points on 4 dribbles in one segment of a game. So he's a guy that we're going to have to guard off the ball. He knows how to read screens. He appears to be doing exactly what Coach Weber wants him to do, which sounds kind of like Captain Obvious, but that's kind of how this deal works. When players do what the coach wants done, when the coach understands what the players can and can't do, it's kind of how you win. And my perception of K-State is they're a good team.
Okay, some from the internet at Guns Up Radio. This is from Woody in Lubbock. Are the three-point and free throw shooting issues more of a technical or mental situation?
With shooting, both. Like I tell the guys all the time, you want to be a great golfer, you can go out there and you can coach. You can work at golf 8 hours a day, but if you have no coach or no technique, you can't work unless you know what you're doing. I feel the same way about shooting.
Approach, yeah.
A lot of guys go out there and shoot all day, but they don't understand what they're doing. There's a fundamental way to shoot a basketball with an elbow and a follow through and a balance so first of all you got to figure out what you're doing, and then once you figure out what you're doing, now you have to practice it the way you're supposed to be doing it every time you do it with discipline. So with shooting, both. I think the question mentions the word confidence. I think confidence comes through work. So once I know how to shoot a free throw and I practice it over and over again, this is where confidence comes from. So, whether it be swinging a golf club or shooting a basketball or making a technique block in football or a space out, defensive kick in soccer, like that, Ella. Space out, defensive. I don't even know if that makes sense, but it sounded right. But yeah, it's all about technique. Got to get the technique right. Then you got to put in the work. Is there such thing, Hax, as a space out defensive kick in soccer?
I think so, yeah.
Can we ask Coach Tom Stone that?
Yeah, Coach Stone would absolutely know that, and he'd be disappointed that I wouldn't have a more confident answer because I do the games on ESPN Plus for him.
I saw Ella, my middle daughter, play soccer the other day, and what I'm thinking is this. She's a defender and really good at her job. It appears to me, sitting up in the stands, not knowing much about soccer, there's times where I think I get back into the zone where her and Avery and Margot played the little girl soccer where everybody on the field just kicks it towards our goal. But I'm thinking when you play defense in real soccer, instead of kicking it down the field, let me space out and do a defensive kick back to my teammate. That's
Ball
what I'm
control.
thinking. I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Sounds good to me.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Can we get Stone on here next week to talk about that?
Well, I'll check with Coach Stone's agent.
Okay.
And we'll roll it out. Hey, I'm a fan of soccer. I am.
I love soccer.
I do too.
The spacing, How about the
You cannot buy space.
How about the conditioning?
Oh, they run 7 miles a match.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get T.J. Shannon to run from defense to offense, from offense to defense.
Rim to rim.
And Coach Stone and my daughter Ella, they're out there trying to run for 7.5 miles.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. They track all that too. What mental aspect of the game are you working most diligently to have your players improve? That's from Mark.
It's a good question. Consistency, toughness, playing through adversity. What's adversity? Fatigue, bad call, shooting the ball correctly, but it's not going in right now for me. Can we fight through adversity? Spend a lot of time with our team. Our young guys, it's part of growing up. Our veterans, hey, you guys want to win? Are we here to get close? Or are we really doing this? So that question, it's almost like it came from somebody on the inner circle, because we're doing a lot of that right now.
It wasn't Coach Adams. It was a Mark, but it wasn't Coach Adams.
Yeah, thanks, Mark, for that. It's not a lot about technique or X's and O's right now. It's about, perseverance, toughness, physical toughness. I think we're okay. Mental toughness, we got to get a lot tougher.
How happy does it make you to have Avery here today?
Oldest daughter, Avery.
Yeah.
Whenever somebody asks me about Avery, I go Avery Benson. It's basically like my stepson.
Uh-huh.
Benson's been around here about 9 years now. Love Avery Benson. How about Avery in that Oklahoma State game? You talk
minutes.
about toughness, being asked to be ready when your name's called, and just unfortunate that couldn't have been the story of the win. But a lot of respect for Avery. Your question's about my oldest daughter, Avery. A lot of respect for her too. This time of year, I probably think about Avery Benson more than Avery, which is probably just wrong. But Avery Beard can't block out or make a jump shot for me. Oldest daughter, Avery's doing good. She's about to start her second semester in college, where she goes in New York City. So she's on her way back to New York, which is, a little bit concerning with the COVID and all. But Avery, she's disciplined and careful, and got a lot of confidence that she'll do the right things in New York.
Thanks, Coach, man. It was fun.
Appreciate it.
All right, that's Chris Beard. We're coming back to wrap it up after this on the Tech Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
At Texas Tech, innovation is at our core. Grit and determination drive our ambition. Art and culture spur our creativity. We're a community that makes Texas and the world a better place. We're a university where our accomplishments are many, our achievements are global, and our victories are glorious. Texas Tech University. From here, it's possible.
Hey, a reminder, for over 3 decades, Community National Bank has deployed state-of-the-art technology with the all-important personal touch their customers value. Contact the company brand today, the Lubbock brand, Community National Bank. We are community. Thanks to Rudy's for sponsoring our show with Chris Beard. We jumbled it up just a little bit as far as the order, but man, it was fun. Sean Sutton's a start, and then Chris Beard to wrap things up. Coach Beard really fired up for tomorrow's game, and you should be as well. Tickets are available at United Supermarkets Arena for Texas Tech and Kansas State. It's so great because we turn around and get a chance to try it again. Our studio producer engineer is Alex Seaton. This is Jeff Haxton for Coach Beard and Coach Sean Sutton, reminding you to join us tomorrow at 5 o'clock for the 6 o'clock tip between Texas Tech and Kansas State. Have a great night, everybody. Guns up and good night from Lubbock.